Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Rehan Allahwala, the founder of Rehan School. Rehan, great seeing you, and welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for inviting.
I love that. Fantastic. Fantastic is such a great way to start the day, right? So let's be fantastic. So Rehan, your background, it's a full of amazing entrepreneurship journey and startups. Your latest venture is Rehan School of Rehan School. Give us an overview of what this Rehan School is, your journey, and what inspired you to start Rehan School?
Thank you so much, Epi, for this wonderful initiative of yours of Bold Awards and the Bold Talks. And we all need to be more bold so we can actually conquer the big problems of the world. Um, I retired from my work and I started dedicated myself towards ending poverty from the world around 14 years ago. And I started I guess it was too early. Before the smartphone, there was a stupid phone, and I started a school on the stupid phone before without the internet, and preloaded the content on the Nokia 1100 style phones. I went out to celebrities of the world and asked them to record content so that people who struggle with English, people who struggle with reading basic signboards and stuff can start reading. I even went to Mr. Beans because he could speak a language which everybody understands because there are 3,000 languages in the world, so you can't really make education content and everything. And I wanted to make a school for everyone. So I did that for a couple of years. It did not succeed, and I just left it on behind, on the back burner.
Hmm.
Then I visited Singularity University in the US, and it designs people teaches people for the 21st century's problems where people can tackle problems for over 1 million people in the world. And I was very inspired, and I thought, what if we could make a school like that rather than after you graduate, um, you go out and learn. Why not we use the time which is from 8 to 18, which is dedicated by everyone in the world for learning. Our parents take care of us. We don't have to worry about a wife, a girlfriend, kids, house, mortgage, nothing like that. It's a prime time learning time. Why don't we learn to be fantastic at something or try to solve a problem at that age for a couple of years? And that was a seed. And then I wanted to take advantage of that time.
Hmm.
So finally, 2 years ago, I got a hold of a running school in Karachi, in Pakistan. It had 100 students. It ended up being in a slum area. It was a large, nice building, but it was a very poor area. And so I took over and I started introducing tech inside, put up Wi-Fi everywhere, and started giving computers to people, mobile phones, and I got a lot of retaliation from the principal, from the teachers, because they think that computers and cell phones are bad for the kids. Whereas when you come home or you come to your own children, you give them a phone so that they will be quiet. So why is it bad to have a cell phone and a computer for a child at the school, and why is it okay at the house?
Hmm.
So I got rid of the class 8th, ninth, and 10th because ninth and 10th is when you're worried about your examination with the government. And so we started with the seventh grade, and I started a new program. It was called One Laptop Per Pakistani. So I started charging $3 a month and gave them a laptop. And so because these kids have never used a laptop in their life, a cell phone, dedicated cell phone in their home, so I gave them the school fees was $3 a month. Most of them did not even pay that. There was no electricity there, so we put up solar panels, and it's the whole building is now on solar. Um, and Yeah, we got it going. And in a year's time, Basically, whatever I learned in my life, I started implementing there, and I was teaching online anyways. I have over 12,000 videos on YouTube, and I was already teaching, but I was always against physical space. I think I was designed for the online era. I've been using a computer since I'm 13, 12 years old. That's 38 years ago. So I wanted that people would take advantage of the internet, of the computers, but unfortunately, unlearning takes a lot more time than learning.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
a
create this
it's a
space.
skill, right? Is it's a skill to be able to unlearn these days, right? Because I truly believe that there's a lot of uh, wrong data has been programmed through the education that we already bought it worldwide. I'm not talking about just one particular country, right? And I was looking at your profile, your LinkedIn profile, Rehan, and I love your mission. You are on a crazy mission to end poverty from planet Earth, guiding people how to earn at least $500 a month. I mean, the financial education is something that it's missing everywhere. So I really applaud you for taking this mission. So tell us, like, how, why you chose financial education in particular.
I don't think I'm financially literate myself. I think I'm more of an entrepreneur and a businessman because I was born in a businessman family. I started working when I was 8, like a hobby. I started going to my father's place. But before I go into that, would you allow me 2 minutes to complete the story of the school?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So I started giving these computers to the kids, and I was already propagating and promoting that everybody should earn $500 a month. And there's no reason for a person who has a computer, who speaks English, who understand how to use basics of the computer to be able to get a remote job in Singapore or something else and earn at least $500 a month. So I started implementing that in the school also because the kids were very poor, the parents were very poor, the teachers were very poor. So I thought, what if we could actually make this happen for the kids? And we could split the profit with the school. So 50-50. So we don't charge anything. We don't get charged with computer, cell phone, internet, nothing. But once you hit the $500 mark, then you split your profits with the school. And that way the school can, level up their school quality, their teachers quality, the infrastructure quality. And there are 27 million Pakistanis who don't go to school. That's the size of Canada. That's the
See,
size of, like you said you're from Kosovo. So that's 27 Kosovos right there who don't go to any school. So, and the reason is money. What if the school, instead of charging $3 a month, ended up earning at least $100 a month? And that would change everything for the school dynamics. And that's why I went all in on this concept and started creating curriculum around this, that if we could just hack this process of learning and earning at the same time, the school is happy, the teacher is happy, the kid is happy, and they actually have a skill at hand and they're already earning before they even graduate. So that's what has become for now for my madness for the next few years, so I can crack and make this curriculum and make this happen. Our first kid has reached the $300 mark last week. And we have first batch was only 20 students. Now we have 120 students. They're coming in from all over the country. And I'm very happy doing this because the parents are on board now, the teachers are on board now, the kids are on board now. People are watching like crazy. What's this guy doing? Because I have removed biology, chemistry, physics, maths, everything, and I have created the first school on the planet which uses AI as teachers, as facilitators, and we hire very low educated teachers who act as facilitators because they're adults. They know
yeah.
how they are ethically good, but they sit with the child and learn with them rather than to them. So that makes it just like real life learning. If you start a new business, that's how you learn. You sit with your friends and colleagues and you discover how to do something. or you get a consultant and you discover how to do something. And so I'm applying the same concept at the school level. And because there are so many problems around us, so in Pakistan, the basic infrastructure is still not done. We are living in the 1965 of Singapore. So we teach each child a specialty. So a child is given a water wala, a garbage wala, a recycling wala. A wala is a dedicated thing which we assign to him out of the 100 problems he choose. And then the way he learns or she learns is that they watch one TED talk about that thing every single day of a specialist like Epi. And then they make their own video after understanding, and then they tag the TEDx speaker like Epi, and then they request them for an interview. So an 11 or 10-year-old child would be requesting for interview. They connect them on LinkedIn, Facebook. They start building their network.
Wow.
And today the power is in the network. Information age is gone. After AI, you can ask anything with the AI, it knows. But you can't make friendship with the AI. You can't build trust with AI just like that. But having an interview like what we're doing right now, that creates trust, that creates energy, that creates collaboration. So
Wow.
a child has to do 200 interviews a year. So in 8 years, which they spend with us, they end up with 1,600 one-on-one conversation with human beings from around the planet, building their network on one specialty. And they also learn to use AI to create short documentaries, 1 minute, 2 minute documentaries on the problem they're solving every single day. That's what they do for learning. And we have 8 levels in the school. So we plan to start the kid, get him to $500 in 4 years, and then help them start a business at the fourth year, which they have to sell by the eighth year for $1 million. So that's the kind of total disruption
I
of the
love it.
whole education. And by the time you're 20, you're retired. You already have $1 million in the bank. You have your home, you have your car, you're settled in, and then do whatever. Instead of
Yeah.
getting old bones and travel the world, travel when
Yeah.
you're 20.
Or instead of selling that dream of retirement, what about if you're just going beyond that and 10x that and become a much bigger blessing to the world, right? Being a great
Of course.
example in that case, right? So
Right.
I
The
would
mission is
say
to have each child has to work on something which impacts 10 million human beings.
that's
So 10
amazing.
Kosovo, he has to impact or she has to impact 10 million human beings in the next 10 to 20 years of his life. That's what we're educating for. We're not trying to make another cog in the global machinery. We're
Yeah.
trying to make the next Bill Gates, Elon Musk, whoever, Epi. So he can actually go out and make an impact out there.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Rehan, obviously, without leadership, an effective leadership, all of this cannot scale, cannot grow, cannot impact, right? So, what qualities do you believe are essential for effective leadership, and how are you taking this leadership and putting in a framework in this education that you're creating with the Rehan School?
So I think if you assign a large problem to anyone and then you make them famous for it. So for example, you're born as a prince of Kosovo or Germany, and it's a
Not that the
large
Kosovo had the
problem.
prince before, but let's just assume Albania probably the closest, right? Let's save that.
Right. So if you're born, you're stuck with it. You can't say, Daddy, I'm not going to be the king in the future. This is who I am. This is who you are. So I believe that, whoever sent us here sent us for a reason. So we need to look around and solve a problem which is large enough. And what is a leader? A leader's job is to lead and show the way. He's like a lighthouse. So at a very young age, we change their last name, and in our school, if you were studying our in our school, your last name would become Epi Ludvik Boldwala, or somebody like Awardswala, which means that you're dedicated to that mission and you will be refined to become that person for the next 8 years or 10 years with us. And you're giving it's all practical learning. And the way you become a leader is by having a tribe. You can't lead nobody. You can have a fantastic idea. If nobody follows you, it's useless. So
Yeah.
First, you build a tribe, and then you start collaborating with them. And the leader's job is not to say, I'm the leader, is to make other more leaders. So if you have 1,000 friends who are working on the same exact mission, your mission is fine. It's going to happen, and you can't run away from it because they accept you as somebody who inspired you, who convinced you, as a teacher, as a guru, and you're stuck with that mission, and they won't let you go. So I have been practicing all this using social media for 10, 15 years. I did a lot of experiments on the internet to do all this. And I conclude that if so you are famous for something, people don't let you do something else. They are like, no, but what happened to your thing? You were doing this. That's what you said. So people make you accountable. Because we do everything publicly, people become more accountable. I was watching um a child today at our school who was 12, and his post was, can you help me get 10 million followers on Facebook? Because I posted the exact same thing 3 days ago and said, I have 11.7 million followers. I want to make it 12. Can you help me? And he just copied it, and he was bold enough to say it. That's what it
Yeah,
takes, I think, to be
yeah.
able to say it. To yeah, I'm going to do it. I can be, I'll go to Mars, right? That's what it takes to just make it happen. Just start saying it. Maybe it will not happen in your lifetime. Maybe this next generation will take
Yeah.
over and do it.
Well, I tell you, a lot of people they're afraid first to take that first step to just say it, not even think about like staying in there for a while. Usually, if you look at a lot of people are afraid from their success, so they see a success themselves and they come back right away because they're so afraid of it, right? And that's really is what I think it has to do a lot of things that we inherited from a childhood all the way to like we've gone to schools and neighborhoods that we lived in and people that we hang out with. But you know what? Like what you're doing here is very innovative. And I remember we had a quick conversation. You said that you got an inspiration from H Farm with Maurizio when you went there to start this school and you see like how innovative that school was. Now, and in this case, you're also doing some amazing innovation that you're tying in some accountability to these students, which I truly believe that without accountability, there's no real results. How do you foster this culture of innovation within?
Um, so one of the things which every student has to do is have a interview with a foreigner every single day.
Hmm.
And that gives them courage. That gives them a mirror to look at themselves. You can't dive in a very complicated conversation when you're 12. You're only going to stay at a surface. I was watching another interview today of one of our kids at school who was 12, who was interviewing the Chief Justice of India today.
Wow.
That's insane.
Amazing.
That's crazy. And the every time I have tried to understand the Chief Justice, I could never hear the backstory. But to this kid, he was asking, "Please introduce yourself. You can be the Chief Justice of India. I don't care.
I
Introduce
love it.
yourself. Who are you?" So I love watching these interviews because they're so innocent and they're so basic and we're shy. I mean, if I come up in a large conference to you, can you please introduce yourself? You're like, dude, go and Google me. I'm somebody. That's why I'm here. But
Yeah.
the kids are like, introduce yourself. Who are you? And that's so basic. And that's what I love about this, that it's really interesting what's happening. I don't know how to even say it. It's just fun.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, obviously, when you look at the ideas, right? So ideas are everywhere, but if you don't connect them and put them together and put the right people together, they get lost. How do you bring these new ideas within your team?
So I have been very blessed that I got fantastic teachers and well, more fantastic parents, because people
I love.
started to migrate because of my school. Pakistan is a big country, 240 million people, 2,000 miles. It's like hundreds of Singapore altogether. So
Yeah.
people started to migrate and come and live next to the school. And I went and I was very shocked when it started happening. And then I actually asked questions, and they said, because we've been watching you for a while, we trust you. And we want you to groom our children however you want. We're happy with that. We're not going to question you. And that was very, very, very touchy for me and very scary for me, because now I have a responsibility of these children, and their parents are not auditing me. And I don't want to do something where I might be making a mistake. Um, so when I took over, and the second thing was that I started hiring as in as facilitators. And I also at least 4 hours a week. I did a lot of crazy experimentation, and I have found I was in a Fortune 500 company a few years ago in Sweden, and they said our productivity is at 20%. I was like shocked. I was like, really? I mean, how can you grow at 20% per annum,
Mm.
like productivity wise? But then when I look at my team, it's already at 20 to 30%, even though they don't understand what I'm doing,
Mm.
because they haven't traveled to 85 countries like I have. They haven't lived in 7 countries like I have. They haven't left even their own city in their lifetime. So for them to accept, it's a lot of trust.
Mm.
And because it's a poor country, relatively, we can pay a little bit more, and people are okay with that. And that's also something I think it was a little bit of beneficial and in the start, and some of the teachers were not on board. We still didn't fire them. We let them do nothing for 6 months to a year, and now they have started to change because the environment has changed. If you
Yeah.
come to Singapore, you cannot be dirty. You will find cleanliness everywhere, so you just become clean all of a sudden. So I think environment plays a huge role. And if I think if a leader just stands with the team for a while, eventually they give in. It's like a war. It's who gives in first. So if I would give in, they would give in. If I could just stand there, even if I'm alone, eventually they will be together.
Yeah. Well, Rehan, listen, I must correct you a little bit here. And I think this is probably good because sometimes we use some words that, we use it, but obviously in the context, it really, it makes one country lower. I truly believe that Pakistan is not a poor country. I truly believe there's no poor country in the world. They're poorly managed by leadership. And what you're doing with your school, you're creating some great leaders who will take the country to the next level. And I'm really proud of you, and great to see you, and also great to have you at H Farm because you are being a top finalist for Bold Awards 5th edition. Before we wrap up this, because it's a short format, I'm looking forward to having more conversation this Friday, and a lot more as we continue this relationship. What does bold mean to you, Rehan? Like the word bold, not the bold word, but the word bold. What does it mean to you?
Thank you for correcting me, first of all. Yes, I totally agree. And I say it all the time that Pakistan is not a poor country. I chose bad words. My choice was not correct. It's a per capita wise less income country.
Yeah.
And we can for sure make a lot more money, and that's what I try to teach in the first place. Bold means to me is like brave. To be bold enough to say what you want, to be brave enough to say what you want, to be brave enough to go out and follow your dreams. And that's what bold means to me.
And you said it right, because without the financial freedom, you can't say anything you want. And I've seen a lot of people who have a financial independence, but they don't have a financial freedom. So I think having a financial freedom is very important, and I think a lot of us are in that journey to achieve that. And that's pretty much what it is. And so I truly thank you for being here at this Bold Talks. Always be bold, Rehan. Congrats on all your great achievement, and make things great. We're truly looking for amazing people like you to be part of this bold community. I will see you this Friday at H Farm. We're looking forward to toast a drink together and celebrate. Take care, be great, be bold always, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much.